Let's learn some B2 phrases that you absolutely need to know. And I say this because they are so common, and I want to make sure that you are using them correctly and effectively, like our first phrase, all of a sudden. It means very quickly or without warning. And there are two things that I want to say about this phrase. The first is that you're likely going to use it either at the beginning or the end of a sentence. And the next thing is that it's very useful because this is a great way to emphasize the fact that something happened suddenly. You may even emphasize the phrase when speaking. All of a sudden, my pants fell down. Okay, there's no context, but it really captures your attention. Or, I got really tired all of a sudden. Great phrase to know and use. For pronunciation, linking will occur. This is when we link the final consonant sound of one word with the beginning vowel sound of the next word. And we can link the phrase all of a. And people are going to say this a bit quicker, and they're really just going to pronounce it all together. All of a sudden.
It seems like all of a sudden, so much is happening.
Well, it kind of happened all of a sudden. It was a spur of the moment, you know?
All of a sudden you care what happens to me.
Sudden valley just sort of implies that something awful could happen all of a sudden.
Now, if you would like to build your vocabulary, improve your pronunciation, develop your grammar skills, please subscribe, turn on notifications. That way I can become your teacher. My name is Wes. The channel is Interactive English. It's all about trying to help you reach your fluency goals. So subscribe, keep watching, because who knows, all of a sudden you may forget what you've learned. So you need to continue practicing and watch these video lessons, because you may miss out on some very useful phrases like our next one, the last minute. This means the latest possible opportunity for doing something. And there are some great collocations with this phrase. These are words that are frequently used together. So you may do something at the last minute. In this case, we're talking about the specific time. I submitted the report at the last minute, or we checked in for our flight at the last minute. You may wait or leave something until the last minute. He waited until the last minute to board the train. Or maybe someone asks you, why do you leave everything until the last minute? If you like to procrastinate, then probably you've heard somebody ask you this question. For pronunciation, the only thing that I wanted to point out is that elision will occur. This is when sounds or syllables get removed. So the final T in the word last, it's going to elide. It comes between two consonants, so you're not going to hear it. The last minute. I want you to listen for it.
The town of Woodbury was supposed to host it this year, but because of recent flooding, they canceled at the last minute.
Didn't anticipate so many people losing their nerve at the last minute.
Danielle, let this be a lesson to you. Don't always leave things until the last minute.
Now, learning these phrases is important, but it's also essential that you pronounce them correctly and practice using them when speaking. And I have an amazing app that can help. And I want to quickly tell you about the sponsor of today's lesson, ELSA Speak. This is a great app to help you fine-tune your pronunciation, and if you're unfamiliar with it, let me show you how it works. And I want to show you a really cool feature when you join ELSA Premium, because you can have an in-depth conversation using their AI feature. As you can see, there are many AI conversations, but we're going to create our own role play.
Hi, welcome to ELSA AI. Which kind of role play scenario would you like to do?
I want to have a casual conversation with a close friend over the phone, and I'm deciding whether or not to apply for a new job opportunity.
Hey there, so I heard about this exciting job opportunity you're considering. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, it's something that came up all of a sudden, but it looks interesting, and I'm thinking about applying, but I haven't made a decision just yet.
That sounds great. What kind of job is it?
It's a sales position, and I have a little experience, but I don't know if I'm really qualified.
You should go for it. Your experience will be valuable, and it could open up new opportunities for you.
Yeah, you're right, and I definitely don't want to wait until the last minute to apply.
You should take the chance and apply. It could lead to some amazing opportunities for you.
Thanks for the confidence booster. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it, so I appreciate it, but I gotta go now, and I'll talk to you later and let you know how it goes.
Good luck with your application. Can't wait to hear how it all goes.
Roleplay completed.
And then after the role play, you get a full assessment of your conversation, giving you meaningful feedback when it comes to pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. So click the first link below or scan the QR code on the screen to download ELSA for free and get 7 days of a premium membership for free. Or you can use the other link to get a 50% discount on a 1-year membership. So don't wait until the last minute if you want to improve your English skills. Check out my special links to get an ELSA premium membership and take your speaking fluency to the next level. Let's continue with our next common and useful B2 phrase, which is for the sake of someone or for someone's sake. This means in order to help or bring advantage to someone. Now, I'll be honest, when I was putting this together, I thought it would be a little more advanced than a B2 phrase, but sure enough, it is a B2 phrase, and I want to give you examples with both of those phrasings, for the sake of someone and for someone's sake. So let's start with for the sake of someone. I could say, I decided to move away from the city for the sake of my mental health. Or maybe the parents decided to stay together for the sake of the children. And if we're talking about for someone's sake, I could say, I hope that you're right for both our sakes. Or maybe you're thinking, I should hit the like button for Wes's sake. Yes, it would help me. When pronouncing this phrase, just keep in mind that the word for is often reduced. It's unstressed, therefore the vowel sound may change, and it's going to sound a little more like fur. And then we can link the phrase sake of. And it's like we're moving that consonant sound over, for the sake of someone, or for someone's sake.
She was my mother too.
Mother gone, for the sake of you.
Baby, you don't have to pretend other women aren't attractive just for my sake.
Well, I'm glad it turned out to be somebody else, for everybody's sake.
Once and for all, let's break down the myths and destroy the lies and distortion for your sake, for their sake.
Then we have by far, which means by a great amount. Now, often this phrase is going to come after the verb to be, and we're going to follow it with a superlative, which is an adjective or adverb indicating that something has more of a quality than anything else in a group. So I could say English is by far the most commonly used language in the world. And teaching English is by far the hardest thing that I've ever done. But it is by far the most rewarding as well. And of course, you are by far the best student that I've ever taught, and I hope that this is by far the best vocabulary lesson you have ever seen. And if it is, yes, you can hit that like button. When pronouncing this phrase, I think it's pretty simple and straightforward, by far. Here are some more examples.
I am by far the most qualified person they're interviewing.
You have to let me study that machine of yours. Is by far the most magnificent invention I've ever seen in my life.
All the things that Bart might do for money, this is by far the most legal.
This is why out of the 5 dads that I have had, you are by far my favorite.
I'll take that.
Next is the phrase, as far as I know. Or you could say, so far as I know. And this is used to say what you think is true, even though you do not have all the facts. Now, you may end up using this phrase as a standalone statement. Someone asks you a question and you respond and just say, as far as I know, this is what I think is true. But you may also often use this at the beginning of an independent clause. I could say, as far as I know, my daughter still believes in Santa Claus. Or, so far as I know, you have already subscribed to the channel. I like to think that it's true, even though I'm not sure. But if you haven't done so, please, you can go ahead and do that. Now, we have these two phrases. They mean the same thing, but I would like to share with you which one is more commonly used. So we can check out Ngram Viewer to see how frequently these phrases are used. And as you can see, it's more common for people to use the phrase, as far as I know. For pronunciation, more linking may occur. We can link the 3 words far as I when saying the phrase, as far as I know, or so far as I know. Let's listen to some more examples.
As far as I know,
Yeah?
there's only 2 ways you can injure your neck.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one to blame here but Oscar.
As far as we know.
Your staff wasn't hurt, but the patient's abdomen was open. He's stable as far as I know.
Then there's can't take your eyes off someone or something. This means to not be able to stop looking at someone or something. And it is a great phrase to add emphasis. I could say, I can't take my eyes off that dessert. It just looks so good. For you music lovers, there is a famous song from 1967. We're going way back. Frankie Valli, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. You're too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I'm not gonna keep singing this song because my voice is just wrong, okay? I don't want you to take your eyes off the video. For pronunciation, I want to highlight the word can't, because there is a difference between American English, can't, and British English, can't. Now, you're going to hear me say can't, and if you listen to many online dictionaries, you're going to hear that T get released. However, most people are going to say this with that nasal sound and then follow it with a stop T. So your tongue is going to come up behind your top front teeth and block the flow of air. Can't. The other thing that is happening is that more linking will occur. We can link the phrase eyes off. Can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you right now. That is true.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
Oh my God. I can't take my eyes off this wise woman. Is absolutely mesmerizing.
It's the ring. You can't take your eyes off it.
Then we have an incredibly useful phrase, to take advantage of someone or something. This phrase actually has two different meanings, one positive and one negative. Now, the positive connotation is actually a be-one phrase, which means to use the good in a situation, like you're going to take advantage of an opportunity. When using this phrase in a negative way, which is the be-two meaning, it refers to treating someone badly in order to get something good from them. So if someone is taking advantage of you, or you are taking advantage of someone else, it's not a good thing. To help you better understand this phrase, I have some humorous memes that I want to share with you, like this one. If you need someone to take advantage of you, I'm your man. Or how about this one? Please explain to me how not letting you take advantage of me is being mean. And finally, whenever you feel taken advantage of at work, just remember how lucky you are to be stupid enough to tolerate it. For pronunciation, there's more linking. This is just commonly used in casual conversation. We can link the phrase take advantage of, and we're moving that consonant sound over to take advantage of someone or something.
He's taking advantage of her.
Didn't exactly sound like anything was happening against her will last night.
And I think that Ryan knows that and he's taking advantage of you.
I think you are wrong.
Because I'm doing it too. I'm taking advantage of Pete like you're taking advantage of Tracy.
Then there's as a result of something. This just means because of something. And the phrase is really interchangeable with the meaning, and it's also interchangeable with the phrase due to. And in my opinion, I feel like as a result of may sound a little more formal. I could say, I hope that you build your vocabulary as a result of watching this lesson. I could say due to watching this lesson, or because of watching this lesson. All of them work, and it's good to get a little variety. But to help give you a better understanding as to how to use the phrase as a result of, here are some news headlines. San Francisco museums brace for layoffs as a result of the city's budget deficit. Pope Francis remains hospitalized, but doctors say he's no longer in imminent danger as a result of pneumonia. And in this case, imminent just means immediate. And finally, chicks sales soaring as a result of ongoing egg shortage, West Texas feed stores say. For pronunciation, we can link two different phrases, as a and result of. As a result of. Listen for it.
As a result of our success, I'm getting a seat on the High Council.
I made a promise. As a result of the promise, I have to stay on Earth.
It simply says you won't hold us responsible if you die as a result of gross negligence.
Then we have to be in your 50s. This is the period in which a person is aged 50 to 59. And of course, we're really referring to any 10-year period. It doesn't have to be your 50s. I could use this phrase to say, well, someone's in their 30s or 40s or 50s, 60s, and so on. Really, you would use this phrase to approximate someone's age, and you're just guessing, and you have that 10-year period. So let's have a little fun right now and play a little guessing game. I am going to show you the picture of a well-known person, and I just want you to guess this person's age. You have a 10-year window right there. So let's begin. How about Leonardo DiCaprio? What do you think? I hope that you said he's in his 50s, because yes, that is true. He's in his 50s. How about Joe Biden? What would you say? I think everybody knows, yeah, he's old. Joe Biden, he's in his 80s. How about Cristiano Ronaldo, famous footballer? He's been playing for quite some time. He is in his 40s. Taylor Swift, famous musician, she is in her 30s. Pope Francis, I know that, yes, he is old. He is in his 80s. And finally, what do you think? What about me? What would you say? I am not in my 20s. I'm not in my 30s. I'm not in my 50s. So hopefully by process of elimination, you would guess that I am in my 40s. That's true. I'm not going to tell you my exact age. But for pronunciation, the only thing that I want to point out is that more linking may occur with the verb to be. If you say someone is in their 30s or 40s or 50s, or if you're talking about a group of people, they are in their 30s or 40s. So just something to keep in mind. Here are some more examples.
Can't even tell when the disease would hit you if you do have it. Could be in your 70s, like your mom, or...
Could be sooner.
Could be sooner.
The molars and the incisors indicates he was in his 40s.
And then there was this dermatologist, and she looked like she was in her 20s. She was like in her 50s.
Hey, you're nifty 50s. Yeah.
One way or another. Great phrase. It just means in some way that is not known yet. And it's almost like you're expressing confidence that something is going to happen. I could say, I am going to pay you back one way or another. All right, I'm going to make it happen. Or one way or another, we're going to get out of this mess. And I'm just expressing that confidence. Once again, for music lovers, you may be thinking, this phrase sounds familiar. And that may be because of Blondie's hit song, One Way or Another. One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you one way or another. I'm gonna win you. I'm gonna get you. You get the idea. And I feel like I'm such a terrible singer, I'd be better off just playing the actual song, even though I might get a copyright strike. For pronunciation, I just want to point out that the word or is often reduced. And when that happens, the vowel sound's going to change slightly. Instead of or, it may sound more like one way or another. And then we can link the final consonant sound in that with the vowel sound in another. One way or another. Just listen for it.
Everything's going to work out, one way or another.
We'll get that money one way or another.
This rivalry has to stop. One way or another.
Sooner or later, one way or another. The gods have a plan for us all.
Then there's to make a fool of someone. This means to trick someone or make someone appear stupid in some way. Now, someone could be a reflexive pronoun, and in that case, it's like you're doing it to yourself. I could say, I got drunk and made a fool of myself. So in that case, the subject and the reflexive pronoun, we're talking about the same person. Someone may also be used as an object pronoun, and in that case, it's like someone else is doing it to you. She made a fool of him in front of his friends. Or sometimes I ask you to hit the like button, and I could say, please, don't make a fool of me. If you don't do it, I might just feel stupid. So please, don't make a fool of me. For pronunciation, there are a couple of phrases that we can link make a and fool of, to make a fool of someone.
I'm sorry it's taken me this long to figure it out, but I promise, done making a fool of myself.
Let him make a fool out of himself.
No, he will make a fool out of you.
You won't make a fool of me any longer.
Oh, I'm embarrassing him.
You're making a fool of yourself.
Then there's the phrase one by one, which means separately or one after the other. I could say the children exited the classroom one by one. Or over time, the apartment buildings have been built one by one. I've been talking about music a lot in this lesson, and of course there is a famous children's song, The Ants Go Marching One by One. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing it. I don't want to hurt your ears. But fun fact, this is an American folk song to the tune of the Civil War song When Johnny Comes Marching Home. And here is a fun meme that I wanted to share. You see these soldiers marching and one person starts singing, the ants go marching one by one, and then someone else says, shut the fuck up, Carl. So I just thought it was humorous and wanted to share it with you. For pronunciation, it's pretty simple and straightforward. Just say each word one by one. Here are some more examples.
One by one. Come in. One by one.
One by one?
I'm not going in there.
Figs began to wrinkle and go black. One by one, plopped to the ground at my feet.
They all dove down from the high pier, one by one.
My son will kill you all, one by one.
Now, I hope that you don't make a fool of me and go on and do something else. I want you to keep watching these video lessons one by one so you continue to build your vocabulary. And as a result, you're going to learn a lot of new words and phrases. So please do it now for my sake. Don't wait until the last minute, and I'm not trying to take advantage of you. This is by far the best way to improve your English fluency, as far as I know. You see how easy it is to use these phrases in casual conversation, and I hope that you go out and do the same. If you enjoyed this lesson and learned something new, you can let me know by hitting that like button. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. So long.